Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa is NDC Member of Parliament for North Tongue. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Umaru.
This decision of yours, is it healthy for parliamentary democracy? You're giving the judiciary precedence over the legislature.
Well, good evening to all our distinguished listeners. First of all, I think it is important to emphasize that parliamentary boycotts and parliamentary walkouts are toolkits available to houses of parliament all over the world. And indeed, if you look at Ghana's own parliamentary history, there have been numerous boycotts, some of which have been led or spearheaded by even the current president. So let it not be said that what we have engaged in is undemocratic or it is inimical to our democracy, or that we are placing the judiciary or above the Parliament of Ghana, or if you like, we are derelicting. That's not the case. We are exercising our democratic right to boycott proceedings and to bring to the fore what we believe, without a shred of doubt, is clear case of execution. Why we have come to this conclusion is based on the president's recent pronouncement when he addressed the people of Assin North during the MPP rally during the last by-election. For those who thought that the ongoing persecutions were not persecutions but prosecution, and that it will be a fair trial, that the charges have merit, and that it is not a kangaroo process, all of those people have been left with a very rude awakening that indeed what is going on is nothing but witch hunting and a clear political manipulation of the judiciary. When the president says in the most prejudicial manner that people of Assin North, don't vote for this son of yours or father of yours or uncle of yours, this NDC candidate, because he's going to jail. The president was very emphatic, very unequivocal. He didn't waver at all, and added that what benefit will it be if your MP is in jail? How can he operate from prison? I mean, the most prejudicial statement. How does the president know that James Gyakye Quayson will end up in prison? And how is he able to pronounce so emphatically that James Gyakye Quayson is going to jail? And you see, we are guided by precedent. The irony is that the lawyer for Honorable James Gyakye Quayson has been a victim of this before. I refer to lawyer Chachu Chikata. And lawyer Chachu Chikata has been able to live to tell the story. Indeed, he has gone back to the Supreme Court, and indeed the records now show that the Supreme Court has declared what happened to him a travesty of justice and has expunged that. He's been totally acquitted, which confirms that when a president, and in Chachu Chikata's case, it was President Kufuor, who made similar political pronouncements, and we know how it ended. So we are clear in our minds that what is going on in the case of Honorable James Gyakye Quayson, in the case of Honorable Atu Forsen, and in the case of the Honorable Collins Dauda, is nothing but a political witch hunt. And that is why the minority leader announced during the swearing in of the Honorable Quayson that we are no longer going to cooperate. Parliamentary business, unfortunately, will have to suffer because we want to stand up to the tyranny. We want to stand up to the oppressor. We want to stand up to all of these machinations. We don't want to just sit back and just watch our colleagues being sent, to the slaughterhouse helplessly. We want to rise up in solidarity, and we want to point to the whole world that we now see clearly the political witch hunt going on, the clear abuse of power, manipulation of the judicial process to seek political ends, and that we are not going to tolerate that. We are not going to sit idle for our colleagues to be sent to the slaughterhouse. And that is why we have delved into the parliamentary toolkit, and we are now using boycotts to make this point.
Honorable Ablakwa, if this was the first case, then your position would be justified. But to the extent that someone has been tried in similar fashion and that person jailed, and that person was a sitting MP, and the NPP minority at the time did not boycott, critics would say what you are doing now would amount to double standards and hypocrisy, because it has happened before. What is different about this particular case? It is still an issue of, dual citizenship, isn't it?
So, Umaru, let me hope that you are playing the devil's advocate. We have said time without number that nobody can compare the two cases. The facts are not even close. And unless somebody is only on the path of mischief, you cannot compare the two instances. Let's take the fact of Dramani Sakande, which I believe is the case you are referring to. In Sakande's case, Sakande had never declared his other two nationalities, Burkina Faso nationality, British nationality. He contested the election, won the Bokus seat, was sworn in, was serving as a member of parliament, concealed this vital fact, this clear violation of Article 94(2) of our Constitution and PNDC Law 284. The Honorable Sakande concealed all of this, hid it from everybody, hid it from his constituents, hid it from the Parliament of Ghana, hid it from the general public. In the case of the Honorable James Gyakye Quayson, on his own volition, in December 2019, a year, 12 clear months before the December 7, 2020 election, on his own accord, he applied to the Canadian authorities. And under Canadian law, when you apply, automatically you have renounced your citizenship. In any case, after that application, we all know that by February, March, COVID was ravaging. So the Canadians say that they had to delay everything else. You can understand that human lives were at stake. We were faced with the worst pandemic in a lifetime. So they responded many months after, specifically on the 26th of November, that is before the election. Let's declare, 26th November 2020, the Honorable Sakande, even after all these delays by the Canadians, the Honorable Quayson, pardon me, received his renunciation certificate about 10 clear days to the election of December 7, 2020. So by the time the people of Assin North were voting for Honorable Quayson, he had been declared a full Ghanaian citizen. He did not owe allegiance to any other country, even if you were to give a narrow interpretation to allegiance to be just, having dual citizenship. That had been renounced. And so By the time he contested on the 7th of December, he no longer had any other citizenship. He has satisfied Article 94 of the Constitution. He has met the criteria under PNDC Law 284 and our Political Parties Act, and had even satisfied the rule or the authority in the Papa Quayson Dome case. Then by the time he was sworn in on January 7, 2021, he no longer had allegiance to any other country. So the facts are so far apart. In the case of Sakande, he was sworn in, kept quiet, concealed the information, hid this fact from everybody until he was found out. And then the consequence of his Tumala Bill, the famous cattle wrestler, found him out, and he was exposed and prosecuted. In this case, the Honorable Gyakye Quayson, did not have any intention, did not demonstrate any, mensura to mislead the Ghanaian people, or, if you like, mislead public officers. He had totally renounced. And you see, what is even intriguing is that, Umaru, there was a petition before his election, after his primaries. That petition was sat upon by the Electoral Commission. That petition said that this gentleman is not eligible because he holds dual citizenship. The Electoral Commission looked at all the facts, looked at his application, looked at all the documents, and cleared the Honorable Quayson to contest. Now, if you read Article 94.2, there is no ambiguity. Article 94.2 says that you cannot owe allegiance as a member of parliament. It doesn't say as a parliamentary candidate. So even this bizarre claim that he should have received his certificate in October before he filed his papers, we don't know where this is coming from. Because if you read PNDC Law 284, it's clear that you should be eligible by the time you are contesting, by December 7th. You become a member of parliament after you have been elected and you have been sworn in. So I am on all fours with, look, the growing number of legal luminaries like Justice Dorsey, the former eminent appeal court judge, a venerable jurist at that, who has said that, look, he can't make sense of this judgment. Professor Kweku Asare, who has said that this is the worst judgment ever in the history of our country. The Domahine, the venerable Domahine, respected High Court judge, who has said that he would never have ruled this way. If everybody was going right, he would have gone left in his own way. The former Attorney General Gyakye Quayson, who has said that, look, this is going nowhere. This is embarrassing. An MPP, leading MPP member, and has called on the current Attorney General to file a nolle prosequi. So the facts are totally different. You cannot, by any stretch of imagination, compare the Quayson case to Sakande. I think it's just sheer propaganda to just obfuscate the issues, muddy the waters, and make it look as if the facts are the same. It's a similar matter. And inherent in that, in my opinion, is even a certain, mindset which shows that, look, it's not about pursuing justice. It is just to score, if you like, political points to achieve a certain vengeful effect. So it's vengeance, it's vendetta. Okay. So anytime they bring up Sankande, they know the facts are not the same, but they just want to tell their members that, look, yes, they did it to Sakande, we are also doing it to Quayson. It shouldn't be about tit for tat. That's not how you run a country. That's not what justice is about. Look at the fact. Look at the merit of the case. Look, if Quayson had concealed this from us, I will even be embarrassed following him to the court, expressing solidarity. I'll be ashamed. I will not associate with somebody who set out to engage in criminality. That is not the case.
We need to go, but in 30 seconds, the decision is that insofar as he goes to court, you would also be there.
Yes, all three of them, Honorable Quayson, Honorable Atufosin, Honorable Collins Dauda. Anytime they are needed in court, we'll boycott proceedings and go solidarize with them until further notice, because this is clearly a witch hunt.
All right. Thank you for speaking to us. That's Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. He's NDC Member of Parliament for North Tongue.